I'm the Vice President of Operations for GivePower, and specifically my role keeps me pretty solidly in the water program, helping shape it, the technology, the deployments, the development of it, etc. GivePower, just as a little bit of background, is predominantly a solar-based organization, and we provide solar that powers life's basic needs. So we were born inside of Solar City, and then became an independent organization in 2016, led by a gentleman named Hayes Barnard, who is our CEO and board chair. And Hayes, we've been really fortunate. He has brought a tremendous amount of resources to GivePower that has allowed us to really experiment and scale on these types of programs and become the world-class organization that we are. So just some highlights about what GivePower has done so far. We have provided solar power, clean energy to over 2,700 schools. We've installed 35 microgrids, 3 solar water farm maxes. We've completed projects in 19 different countries and affected the lives of over 450,000 people. Just a few sort of notable projects that I'm showing over here on this slide. In Standing Rock, we did, in the US, we did a 300 kilowatt solar array. In Haiti is the site of the second solar water farm, large-scale solar water farm that we built. All the way from projects in the DRC, Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, Nepal, Colombia, all over the world. So we provide solar solutions for food, water, education, a wide variety of things. It's frequently not the electricity that's the core need itself, it's the productive end use of that electricity. So when we go in and we provide a solar solution, we provide light for a school so kids and adults can learn at night in remote communities. Or we'll put in a grain mill in Nepal to keep people from having to travel extremely long distances to harvest their grain, or incubators to raise chickens and create livelihoods. We've done forward-looking infrared cameras in rhino preserves in Kenya, all in an effort to help preserve the rhino populations, the endangered rhino populations. And of course, we've done a wide variety of clean water solutions. The focus of the organization now is on our solar water farms, but we have also done some solar powered water pump solutions when clean water exists and the community just simply doesn't have the resources to gain access to it. So solar to empower women. So beyond just solving access to water or to these programs, we also realize that we have an opportunity to create a little bit more equality in the world. So in many developing regions, women take the burden of a lot of the day-to-day tasks that need to happen, whether that's walking to secure water or food. And frequently that keeps them out of educational programs, limits career opportunities, and can even limit their ability to spend time with families. So our solar powered technologies, we can secure food, we can secure water, we create opportunities for job creation. There's really a tremendous amount of opportunity around female empowerment just through gaining access in these communities to the productive end uses of solar. And one of the programs that I think we're particularly proud of and we're working right now to get off the ground in a meaningful way is a program we call Solar Strong. And again, beyond just creating access to fresh water, we realize we have a really significant opportunity here where we can create livelihoods, we can create empowerment, we can create jobs, quite honestly. And so the Solar Strong program basically seeks to create these jobs for these women as we build these projects. And I'll get more into the solar water farm projects later in this presentation. But as we build those programs, we have the opportunity to create some really meaningful jobs. We can create, we have site managers that run and operate the entire solar water farm. They are the managers that run the entire system, from the technology to the business development and sales to the profitability. We are working on creating programs within Solar Strong that allows, that creates jobs for delivery. So home delivery for water, or also for sales and distribution, so that we can increase our access, or increase our footprint, the people that we can touch. We're looking at building water kiosks around the communities to get the water itself closer to the people that need it. And frequently, as many in this space probably already know, the distribution can be the hardest piece of water, because it is not very efficient to move from one place to another. We're also training women to be the next solar water farm technicians. So learning how to operate everything from solar inverters and cutting edge battery technology to best-in-class desalination systems and and pumps and everything else. So we're trying to break some boundaries as well from women in the STEM areas. So Jenny is one of the women that we've been working with. So we are currently building solar water farms, or we have solar water farms in various stages of development in several places in Colombia and also in Kenya. And this is Jenny. Jenny is a hostel owner, teacher, school headmaster, mother of two, and a master's degree student. She travels 4 hours from home to work in La Guajira, Colombia, which is an extremely poor area of the country where she grew up, that endures brutally dry conditions. The water is extremely scarce. It's, you know, they only have access to water a couple of hours a day in many cases. And because of the extremely limited nature of that resource, many times they have to, the citizens there have to go back and forth between whether they provide water to their livestock, which is their livelihood, or if they use that water for cooking or bathing. So right now we are working on an installation for one of our solar water farms within that community. And Jenny is going to be basically the leader of that program. It will be one of the first, it will be likely the first Mobi solar water farm, which I'll introduce later, which is one of our new smaller scaled systems. And GivePower's plan is to really foster her entrepreneurial spirit, to train her in the site operations, how to distribute clean, safe water to the community, educate her, and for her to help educate the rest of the community in the importance of clean water and what that can do. And this is a program that we feel we can replicate the world over. There are countless Jennys in the world, and there are countless opportunities for us to empower these people in this community, in these communities that have lacked access for so long. And we feel like we've got a phenomenal solution that can help us do that in not just providing water, but also creating livelihoods. So water to power water security. This group is probably the last group that I need to run through all of the facts about, you know, water, the tragedies of a lack of access to clean water. I think we're all intimately familiar, and we are all here to try to help solve this issue. So we've pioneered for our part, and I think what is clear to everyone here especially is that there is no silver bullet. There is no single solution that solves every problem, that creates the end of this. It's going to take a little bit from everyone here and many more to try to solve this problem. But for our part, we've created a technology that that we think, we've created a solution that we think can really help move the needle. Our solar water farms are really one part technology, one part business model, and one part enduring commitment to the program. And what I mean by that is you can provide a technological solution and then you can walk away, and that technological solution will ultimately fail unless somebody is there to operate and maintain and make sure that it continues to run. A system will only continue to operate, to be operated, to be maintained, to continue to run if there is a revenue stream behind it that allows it to continue to do that. And all of that will only work if GivePower and the dedicated team that we have built both in these countries where we operate these systems like Kenya, Colombia, and Haiti, and here in the US, remain enduringly committed to these systems and that they will continue to operate. And I think that is the magic formula that we've really created. The technology is the solar water farm. And this image here is our project in Lakoni, which is just outside of Mombasa. It's an extremely poor community that lacked access both from a scarcity perspective as well as from a cost of the clean drinking water perspective. Our solar water farm can produce up to, our solar water farm max system, which is shown here, can produce enough drinking water for up to 35,000 people every day. And we source water, typically about half of our projects right now are from seawater and about half of our projects are from brackish boreholes. But the common theme is that every one of our systems requires, or every one of the water sources that we use requires desalination. We have to remove salt in order to make that water potable for people to drink. So what's in the box? The technology of solar water, the Max Solar Water Farm, it is, as I said, it produces about 70,000 liters of water per day, which can provide drinking water for up to 35,000 people. We have around 60,000 liters of water storage. We've created remote access and monitoring systems. It runs on 55 kilowatts of solar power, and we store 135 kilowatt hours in 10 Tesla power walls. For those interested in some of the energy metrics, that is an extremely energy efficient, small scale desalination system at 3.5 watt hours per liter of water produced. It is, this system basically produces water at municipal scale efficiencies while operating at a significantly smaller size and footprint. Because of the smaller footprint, the smaller physical footprint, that also helps us minimize the environmental footprint, both by having it be powered renewably as well as smaller intake and discharge lines and other things that can have difficult impact or negative impacts on the environment. We've really significantly mitigated those just through system design. And obviously the key to this system is that it produces exponentially more affordable water than, more affordable drinking water than what local resources can provide. So one of the learnings that we had in some of these early projects is that while the Max systems are phenomenally efficient at producing water and producing extremely clean, potable drinking water, they were large enough that they were producing a significant volume of water that we needed a community that could support that. And so we were targeting more densely populated areas that lacked access to drinking water. But what we found was that there's significant populations, much smaller rural populations, that are often one of the last in line for basic government services. And so we started developing a system that we call the Mobi. And the Mobi is a small scale solar powered desalination system producing 5,000 liters of water a day and capable of providing drinking water for up to 2,500 people. And it works on the same or similar technologies as we did as with the Max systems, but it is tailored for these smaller remote communities. Based on the way we designed it as well, we also feel like it can be a really significant asset in emergency relief and response systems. It is fully containerized. Everything comes inside of the one box, and it can be deployed in a matter of days, especially after any sort of natural disaster. So some of the goals for our operation, for our water program, are really creating a sustainable operation. First and foremost, we want to price safe, clean drinking water well under the current non-potable water sources. And, you know, I mean, we're at a fraction, in most cases, we're at a fraction of the price of the current potable water sources, and we want to be competitive or cheaper than even non-potable water sources in those communities. We want to select convenient sites that limit travel time for the community. As many of you know, there's a lot of goals around the UN SDGs about the maximum distance people should have to travel in order to get water. I mean, ultimately, we would love water to be at everybody's doorstep, and we're working on programs to help make that happen. But that's also critical to that is also that these systems are located in the heart of the communities themselves. We want to ensure that water quality is maintained from production to the end user. So it's not enough to just make sure that we have water that is really potable and good coming out of the tap at our site. That water needs to be good for people to drink when they get home. And when that jug of water sits there on the counter for 3 or 4 days, it needs to still be good. We need to make sure that we develop our system so that we can actually do that, we can maintain that. We want to create meaningful jobs primarily for local women. Hire site managers, cashiers, attendants, bottlers who will operate and manage the farm. And we want to create vertically integrated distribution systems delivering the water to homes and retail locations. As I said, we were trying to get the water as close to people's homes as easily as possible for them. And then the final goal is in many ways one of the most important goals as well, which is to achieve financial sustainability within 5 months of the commissioning of these systems. And that's the key to the scalability, is that if we achieve the financial sustainability within a certain period of time, then these systems can continue to operate and we can continue to build more and more and more of them without being reliant on the organization to continue to fund them. So the idea is GivePower builds a solar water farm, and as soon as that system is commissioned, we start selling the water into the community. The revenue that we generate from those systems, first and foremost, goes to pay staff salaries, operations, maintenance, and make sure that that system continues to operate. If those systems if and when those systems start producing any water that it goes above and beyond the core O&M expenses, those are reinvested into the construction of new solar water farms. And as we continue to grow and as we continue to scale and build our installed base, then the construction funding expands as we increase our solar water farm base. So we have currently 3 different Max systems that are operating. The first one that we built here in Kiunga, Kenya, was commissioned in June 2018. That was our very first prototype. And then last year, in the heart of the pandemic, we launched our system on La Gonâve in Haiti, which is a small island off the coast of Haiti. And in Likoni, the one that you saw in that image, which is just outside of Mombasa. We're currently in varying stages of development for La Guajira. 2 different systems in La Guajira, one with Jenny, as you saw, and we're expecting both of those systems to go live sometime in Q1 or Q2 of this year. We're also developing another site in a different end of Mombasa to serve a different community. And then inland, we're doing our first system that is not coastal in a place called Makindu, Kenya, and that's going to be Kenya's first Mobi system, but it is a pretty severely contaminated groundwater system. And if you give me 1 second, I have a short video I want to share.
Can you imagine a world without water even for a few hours? It's not possible, especially in this period where we're facing the pandemic, the coronavirus. We need water to constantly, regularly wash our hands. So we need water to drink. GivePower is bringing water here. So that means GivePower is bringing life to this community.
During the pandemic, we've really doubled down on our efforts in building solar water farms because for communities that don't have access to clean water, the need is just too great.
Ansagale is the largest community on the island of La Gonave. La Gonave is referred to as the Forgotten Haiti because their access to even basic government services are really, really limited. There is no public water system there. The water supply that they have in the community is actually managed by another organization called West Indies Self-Help. They said, we just don't have enough water.
Environ nous avons installé près de 24 fontaines dans toute ville là. Donc, mais en dépit de toutes difficultés, ça fait toute fontaine yo pas qu'à répondre. Parfois, nous capables pas trouver même. Et tout dernièrement là, c'était une tête chargée.
None of the water that they have on the island is treated.
Up to 90% of the water here is brackish water.
Haiti is a country that has received a lot of aid from a lot of people, but not a lot of the projects last.
They really needed a sustainable system that can produce an amazing amount of water. We started to build a 75,000 liter per day Blue Drop Max desalination system with around 58 kilowatts of solar, 180 panels. It was probably one of the most difficult times to actually operate in Haiti. The government would continuously shut down, and as if all of that wasn't hard enough, coronavirus hit.
It's difficult to get supplies to different regions, and we can't be there on the ground to help facilitate the construction of projects right now.
So now how do we finish building the project? How do we operate this system?
We have to wait until the pandemic stops so that technicians can travel to Haiti. However, I had something different in my mind.
Our site manager, Jetro, was without a doubt the MVP for that entire project.
He's the man.
He would stay up late watching YouTube videos to learn how to wire up a variable frequency drive or to install flow meters, all of those little details that were nowhere near his realm of expertise. He just really wanted to push that forward.
Necessity is the mother of all invention. This unifying pandemic is making us better in some senses.
We hire local teams. The West Indies Self-Help has been an advocate and partner organization of ours on the island. It's really heartwarming to see that number of people rallied around this project to just make it happen. It was an amazing feeling when it finally went live.
Everybody's a little weary about tasting it at first, and then it's big smile.
I'm super excited. I'm beyond happy.
And it really is a team celebration to see those things get over the finish line.
You know, I wished I was there.
If 1,000 people in this community drink the water or try the water, it was 1,000 positive feedback.
Donc, moun yo te soif ça sous île. Ensuite, yo content parler de l'eau.
The best water ever seen, the best water ever existed on the island, the best water in the Caribbean.